This leader is provided to permit the projectionist to complete adjustment of focus and sound level before the film begins.
Hi, I'm here to check on you. I know some stuff didn't pan out the way you wanted it to, and you're confused and sad and pissed at the world, and yes, absolutely be that for a second or a day or a month, but do not let it consume you. Do not let it become part of who you are. It doesn't deserve that permanent spot in your life, and it definitely doesn't deserve to hold that spot in your mind. So, have the second, have the day, have the month, but we're not gonna let it have our life. One day, we're gonna take that weight off our chest, and we're gonna throw that bitch into the ocean, and it's gonna feel so good. But it doesn't have to be today. I know it'll happen. You got this. I love you. Bye.
Man, I can't sleep. It's hot in here. I hope I'm not too loud. You're gonna wake up the whole neighborhood. Man, this is a mess. I should have cleaned this case with my damn ruler. I should put a movie on. I've seen all the good shows. There's nothing good. Let's try Hulu. Don't lose that drill bit. It's the only one I got. I should be doing homework. Actually, I should be sleeping. Just gonna place these here. And that there. Oh, I never finished setting up my travel palette. I'll do that now. Or should I take it to paint? Maybe I'll take this to the coast after finals. Just a tad. I love these colors. There. It's ready to go. I should design the outside. Maybe another day. My drink station is a mess. Where did this hairspray cap come from? Might as well make a cut. Maybe that's a good idea. I forgot to email those thumbnail sketches for that commission. Oh, okay. I know you're ready to go on. Come on, let's go to bed.
Acknowledgement. Our guest, Guillermo Estrada, Professor Diekman, and I would like to acknowledge that we are speaking to you tonight from the unceded territory of the Kumeyaay peoples, and that the meeting place of CSUSM and its surrounding areas is still home to the 6 federally recognized bands of the La Jolla, Pala, Palma, and this to the land, but there's also this border that potentially prevents their free movement across this land as they have been moving, right, since time immemorial. So there's this inherent contradiction, which I think is approached in a way that is, like approaching it not from the realm, not just, I think, recognizing its seriousness, but also its absurdity. And like the fact that it's like, because it's absurd, then it just opens the door to like other forms of imagining beyond the kind of potentials that we usually feel constrained.
Hairless guinea pig. Where's the closest sushi place? Never let it go.
Costelow.
Okay, let's go eat.
This is the what?
The 5-star gourmet kitchen.
With hamburgers and hot dogs.
And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yay, thank you.
Sienna.
Is anyone there?
Oh my god, what about that kid? You're so big. Yeah, super big.
Hi, Nay. Why the heck do you have that? Say hello. Swing? It's cool. It's all the way up there.
You receive this. I need your help.
Probably put that in there too. Just me going like.
It's that pause. Yeah. Okay. So that, yeah, maybe we can focus on that pause as a starter. Yeah. Break. Dude. Yeah. That'd be cool. No, yeah. And then this verse, you're like playing the bass like that. Do that for the first verse too. So for all of them when it's just the pick. Okay. Okay. Let's do it again. Yes. It's like comedy. Yeah. I miss and a
One evening as the sun went down and the jungle fire was burning, down the track came a hobo hiking, and he said, boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for a land that's far away, beside the crystal fountain. So come with me, we'll go and see the big rock candy mountains. In the big rock candy mountains, there's a land that's fair and bright, where the handouts grow on bushes and you sleep out every night, where the boxcars all are empty and the sun shines every day on the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees, the lemonade springs where the bluebird sings in the big rock candy mountains.
And this will be our Q&A. So yeah, I'm sure people have questions or comments for their classmates. I guess, watching these all together for the first time, I just noticed so many links between videos, whether intentional or not. I mean, we watched 20 something videos by 20 something different people, and everyone's really injecting their own personality and their own style into the video, even within this tight format. But I think there was a lot of surprising things like, just the up close and personal presence of all these animals. Like I think about the squirrel in Christina's picnic video, the amazing reptiles and dogs in Grisel's video. Um, there's kind of earlier on Cassidy's video where it's sort of like waking up and going back into a dream state with the garden and the flowers, and that's followed by Emily's video, which kind of gives this more awake and in the world version of all this flora and fauna. That was with the flowers with all the geometry added to them. So I'm curious, yeah, if anyone else has questions or comments about, I don't know if you saw, videos kind of working together in this grouping, or, were you able to zoom back a little bit and notice any connections uh, across the larger piece itself? Yeah, Cassidy, if you want to go, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I don't remember the which video or the name of whoever made the video that followed mine, but I was looking through them all just to see what after like I had posted mine to see what everyone else's looked like. And once I watched it, I was like, wow, those are gonna flow really well. I feel like right after each other, like the scenes like where I just have like one flower that I'm looking at on screen, and then like in theirs they also do that. I thought that that was really cool. It almost felt like exactly how you put it, like being more awake in that world. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And Emily's here. Yeah, Emily, do you want to talk a little bit just about putting together your video? Obviously, like it doesn't sound like you and Cassidy kind of pre-planned this, but yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that connection, if you were able to see a connection too?
Yeah, I thought that was funny when I saw the time that her video was at, and I was like, oh, shoot, we're doing kind of the same thing. But like I was just going for what was it? It was 9 to 10, so I was like, okay, like the world's kind of waking up, so just wanted to get like a different perspective, not like me in my house or like, people, just like the plants.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I would argue that you and Cassidy's videos are very different, but they share a lot in common, like not just the plants and the flowers, but also they both kind of have this really immersive first person's perspective, right? Where we're sort of, the camera as a stand-in for your eyes or the way that you see the world, um, rather than you being a character within your video. So that's another nice connection as well. But yeah, I thought they flowed together really well. Um, yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, those were just ideas I was putting out there, but I'm curious what other people are excited about talking about or asking questions of your classmates, if anyone had questions about particular videos or moments in the video. I think we saw a lot of stuff here today that we haven't necessarily seen in other projects. So yeah, anyone else who would like to go?
I have
I
a
think,
quick
yeah.
question. Cassidy, what did you shoot the beginning of yours with? Because it was it was super crisp, man. I've just never seen like colors like that.
Yeah, so everything was shot on my smartphone. Actually, yeah, it's on my smartphone. It's my Samsung Galaxy A71. Um, no, but thank you. I'm honored because normally I don't feel like I'm always like, oh, should I get a nice camera? But thank you. Yeah, it was just on my smartphone.
Yeah, it's because I was in the market. I ended up getting, Professor, just so you know, I ended up getting a Canon, I think A50 or M50.
Great.
Or yeah, and it's chill, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm super paying attention to footage now, and yeah, that was super crisp and looked really good.
Well, just to interject, I imagine, uh, sorry, Cassidy, that you probably shot all of your video around the time that you were doing, right? 8 in the morning, between 8 and 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Did you
so
kind of?
I got up right at 8 a.m. and they took my dog on a walk
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of filmed as I went along. But the scene that is shot where the alarm is going off is not 8 a.m. I actually did that later. And
Okay.
had because I didn't have, obviously I can't record like my own phone, so I
Right.
had to wait until my brother came home to use his. So
I see. Well, yeah, I was just going to say though, it seems like, especially shooting in Southern California with natural light, we talked about this, a lot more at the beginning of the semester, but really being careful about the time of day you film at is going to, no matter what camera you're using, is really going to affect the images. And I couldn't help but notice in yours, even before any post-production happened, right? You had this really nice kind of muted early morning light, that combined with the colors and the environments you were shooting in, that's going to help no matter what camera you're using, right? Um, as we get to the middle of the day and it gets sunnier and more overhead, things are going to become a little bit more harsh, more contrasty. You're not going to have as much control over what the camera can see. Um, so yeah, and similarly in the chat, right, Nathan, I'm sure those of you that had late night ones, right, kind of the limitations of lighting were also something to work around. We saw that a lot in Nathan's video. I'm thinking about, you're working, there's scenes where you're walking the dog and you're working just with like the street lights as your only available light. So yeah, Nathan, were you conscious of that with your, it seems like your shots were so, uh, they were squared off in this way and they felt so deliberate. Like I'm thinking about, when you're walking out the gate and the camera cuts between you walking out the gate and the back side of the gate, sort of a shot, reverse shot. Did that same kind of deliberation come into play when you were out on the street, just under the street lights? Did you kind of like cheat your compositions to be a little bit more towards the light source so they'd be a little bit brighter?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I really had to work with light. Like even coming out the gate there, you know, on a regular day, I'd be like, okay, this is perfect. This is an easy transition from backside to front side. But I knew that all I'd see was silhouette. So I didn't want to, I couldn't show that very long. It kind of just had to be like a subconscious thing to where, okay, you get the silhouette and now back, okay, now back to where the light source is behind to see the gate close. And like even one shot of just me walking the dog was just shadow, because that was kind of, you know, if I was too far back, then it was kind of almost too saturated, and you couldn't, you know, even the cement was kind of just whited out. And then too far down, you're not really getting any information. So everything I did, I really was, it was all inspired by where the light was and what I could do with it, and what kind of, but it kind of led to some cool compositions too, to be able to use the light source as a third element other than just me and the dog. So it kind of framed some things nicely too. So it was fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking of, like you mentioned, that shadow of the dog walking is really, really sticks out in your video. And, you know, sort of all the shots that get us to that point. Yeah, that's great to hear. Thanks for sharing. Grisel, I might ask you, just because I see your camera on, could you talk a little bit about your video? Because, you know, obviously the focus of the video is all these amazing animals that I assume you live with, right? This is in your own house. And we haven't, you know, the snake, the turtle, the dog with the beautiful eyes that are different colors from one another. So do you want to talk a little bit about, I know I'm sure it's not easy to film animals, right? You can't really like tell them what to do the way you can with a human actor. So do you want to talk a little bit about the experience of working with them?
Yeah, yes, well, thank you. Yes, yeah, exactly. Was the video was in my house with my pets, but I found it's very difficult because they move fast. They don't want to. They don't like the camera, especially with the snake because she's so shy. Her name is Adira. It's a girl, and she don't like the. He is so he loves moving, but and like to be as a ball. If close with glass because in the one was very difficult. She was the most difficult moving and looking the place, so the area was better for her. And looking for the place, but put the camera. I use my phone. I put my phone and the movements for the animals. And the dogs always was a little loud or moving. They are curious. When I try to make the shots for the turtle, for example, the dogs was inside because they are very jealous, especially the big one. Yeah, when we play with another animal, he is always present. So when you move and stay one moment that he was, they make a lot of noise with the doors too. Yeah, but well, those are my animals. But really, I love animals and nature. Maybe I don't know, all my videos is for nature. Really inspired me, and they are always with me, especially now in pandemic. They are present. So I am here, and my dog's here, and my animals is close to me. Always, they stay with us. Like I told you, the turtle is like a dog. She walk around the house and stay with us. You are in the living room, they are in the living room. Or when they in the room, they are in the room. They follow us. It's fun now. Different behaviors.
Well, it's great. I'm sorry. I can't help but notice, you know, I feel like in the video, even when we just catch, like you said, the snake is very hard to stay on camera, but even the details that we catch, you know, it really feels like they're being filmed by somebody that's familiar with them, as opposed to, you know, this is not your first time seeing the tortoise or the turtle or the snake or the dog. You know, you really get that sense of familiarity just in the way that you capture them and share them with us. You know, those details are so nice.
Oh, thank you, Professor. I try what I see it. And just I want to say that all the videos is very wonderful and really teach me a lot for my classmates and see they work for them. They are very good guys. They are very good works. Especially I think the last one with when it's walking with the dog and this song.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Nathan's video. Yeah.
I love this video. It's pretty inspiring. I don't know. It's very nice, the music and the animal and the person walking in the night and the flat, the shot and the flat. I feel, well, for me, I feel like very American. I am foreign, so, this I connect with the country. So American.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure the folk music adds to that too, right? You know.
Yeah, I never seen this song. It's very nice.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I
No,
like
that's
this.
great.
Thank you.
Well, I'm wondering, yeah, I mean, I have tons of questions for everyone, but I also, it'd be great to hear from you all. This is sort of the last chance we're going to meet as a group. So, does anyone out there have questions for your classmates about any of these videos or things you want to comment on?
I think.
Yeah, Cassidy, you want to go again? Yeah.
Sorry, I think I interrupted somebody who had started
Oh.
to talk with raising my
Oh.
hand. But,
Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead.
We'll get you next.
I really liked the part with the George Lopez coming on at like 3 a.m. because that is such like a classic time for George Lopez to come on to the TV. And I feel like that was a really relatable. I think it's kind of a meme that happened, so I thought that was funny and relatable, and I laughed at that. So.
Nathan, I see your hand up. Do we cut someone else off before too?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. So Jennifer, why don't you go and we'll get Nathan next.
Oh, okay. I just want to know for the thought process for everyone because I felt like it was kind of recreating a certain mood in the day. At least for me, that was kind of what I was seeing. But I wonder if anybody was trying to sort of recreate a scene or memory. Yeah, that was just kind of a question that I had for everyone, sort of.
I think for my video, it was more of just a regular occurrence. Like I'm always like this morning I didn't go to bed till like 5:30. Well, I was writing a script for a class, but still like I was still procrastinating and I was watching like the Naked and Afraid show all night while I was writing and I was like getting distracted. I was like, I could do that. No, I can't. But like it was just like more of like an everyday thing. It wasn't really more of a memory. It was just more of what usually happens.
Yeah, I liked yours. It was pretty cool. It's sort of it kind of reminded me a bit of like something that I do sometimes as well. I feel like every sort of artist can kind of relate to yours because I feel like sometimes we do procrastinate or we put it off or we're trying to get into the zone, but then we end up getting distracted by other things and we're kind of just bombarded by all of these like anxieties or something.
Yeah, like it was meant to be like I was supposed to do something, but I ended up like doing this and this couldn't be done because this was a mess and this couldn't be done because that was a mess. And then my mind just like was everywhere. So I ended up not doing anything. Me and my dog ended up going to the bed anyways.
But yeah, that was cool.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll just go down the list. So Nathan next, and then I think Salma, did you have a question too? Well, we'll do Nathan next, and then whoever has a question after him.
Yeah, so I think mine is for Dianne's video. I've just noticed that I really am attracted to the shots that you do, not even just in this one, but in other ones as well. Like when you're holding the coffee mug, and it's really up close. You're reading from what is going on, and the shadow on the wall and outside the window. Like, just like, what is your process when you find your angles and you make compositions like that? Like when you're holding that mug, did you have to like go back and forth and be like too close, too far? Did you like nail it the first time, or like how'd that go?
I definitely think about it first and I try out the shots first before I record, and then I'll go back, look at the video if it's not what I want, I go back and do it again. So like, I definitely do try to invest some time in the shots that I try to recreate. And I think also part of how I think about my shots is because I have more experience in like photography. So when I look at video, since I don't have experience with video making, I try to just see like what I would do if I was taking a picture. So I think that kind of helps me just like visualize what I want to capture. Hopefully that answers.
Yeah, no, I can tell. It looks great. It was a good video.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, and Diane, just to bounce off that, it seems like, this idea of the shadow and the silhouette in, at the sort of beginning of the day is so important in this video. I'm thinking about especially kind of the first and I think the last shot in the video where there's a lot of shadow play happening. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit, just, I guess it's sort of building off that question, but just thinking about your compositions and thinking about how you're thinking of light and dark and positive and negative space within these?
Yeah, for shadows, well, because it was at 6 a.m., I usually wake up at that time anyways. And I think it's very, like for 6 a.m., there's a lot of shadows and a lot of contrast and light. So I felt like the best way to represent that time was to show a lot of shadows and just like that drastic change in light and shadows. So just like trying to find shots that would capture that.
Thanks, that's great. Yeah, it really feels like 6 in the morning, it looks like 6 in the morning, Okay. How about, were there other hands up, or do other people have questions or videos they want to talk about? Okay, Cassidy, yeah, go for it.
I'm not sure whose it was, but it started with the blue light turning on, and then at the end of it, we see just the blue light, and then it turns off. And I thought that was a really nice way to like tie the whole video together. So I don't know who that was, but I enjoyed it.
I'm trying to, maybe you all could refresh my memory. Do you remember what else happened in that video? I
That
don't
one
know
was.
if I, oh, okay. Alyssa, yeah. Yeah, Alyssa, I'm glad, yeah, do you want to talk just a little bit about your whole video? Because I feel like there's so much happening in this video. In some ways it feels very smooth and elegant, but I feel like when you break it down shot by shot and sort of all the techniques you're using and even the way you're using music in this video, do you want to just talk a little bit about, you don't have to break down every single thing in the video, but would you mind just telling us a little bit about the process behind this video and sort of the way you were thinking about arranging everything within it?
Yeah, well, I just kind of wanted it to be like a really peaceful, like nighttime routine, kind of like almost self-care. And yeah, my choice of music, I just really wanted it to be like tranquil and just very calm and peaceful. And yeah, it wasn't supposed to be like a memory or anything. It was just nighttime routine, which is usually, it's kind of actually my nighttime routine. I don't go to bed that early, but yeah, I wanted to include my cat clock that I had that ticks really loud. I was watching a show on my computer, so I tried to get some production sounds in there as well.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great. And also thinking about, I know at the beginning we talked about unexpected links between videos. I couldn't help when I watched your video thinking of Nayeli's video, which directly precedes it. You're both really focusing on music in different ways, but sort of showing, I think in the beginning of your video, Alyssa, we see Ableton or Adobe Audition, we see like a music editing program. And Nayeli's video is sort of centered around band practice, and then you both kind of have these candles that get lit and get put out during the video. So, they're very different videos, but there's all these like really interesting echoes and links. Maybe that would be a good spot, Nayeli, if you're here, I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about your project and just sort of the thinking that went into making it.
Yeah, I also thought it was really cool seeing the link between candles in both of our videos, kind of unexpected, but really funky. So yeah, like right now I live with my bandmates and jamming in the living room is kind of like a weekend thing for us. So I really wanted to include that. And as far as the audio, I wanted to not have like the actual song in it. I wanted to include our discussion because that's really what, you know, kind of builds the band. If you're able to talk about your mistakes, then it's like, it's the best part to keep moving forward. And it was later at night and we always have our lights up with like different glowing tones. And we always have candles lit around here. So I wanted to include that also. And yeah, I'm glad y'all liked it.
Can you tell us the name of the band?
Yeah, it's The Phases. It's a F-A-Z-E-S.
Great.
We're on Spotify.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, yeah, like, I mean, I think we've talked about this a lot this semester, but certainly we see it with this project, right? You know, we're all, in one way or another, we're all art, media, and design students here. We're all creative people outside the classroom. So this idea of process, you know, I think like you were talking about just now, Nayeli, like this way of showing the creation of a song maybe is more interesting, or it offers all these different vantage points than just like presenting a perfectly crafted and finished song or art object. You know, I think hearing the discussion around it and sort of seeing all the in-between moments, you know, it's really illuminating in all these different ways. Of course, we all love to listen to music and to hear new music too, but the process, you know, especially for those of us that are also creating things, is endlessly fascinating and relatable, right? How about, yeah, who's so many videos? Shayli, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about putting together your video, which I think is right in the middle of the day, right? It's like noon. And in some ways it's really interesting. It's kind of a self-portrait, you know, it's kind of like this feeling of having all these options, but also, you know, not, you know, being in bed in the middle of the day or whatever. I'm curious just like what your thoughts were putting it together. And I also really, you know, sort of having the multiple edits of the same shot and having the music that ties them all together. I thought there was a lot of really nice moments within this kind of straightforward composition that you present us with.
Yeah, thanks. I also kind of wanted to go, I was trying to go for like a more like comedic kind of angle just because I've never really done it like that and I just wanted to try it out. And then I just like I think last week when I was just like talking about what I wanted to do, like the one shot of like my bed, just because it's like where I would spend like, you know, like I'd spend like every day in here, like especially during quarantine stuff, and just kind of like going through the different things that I do like during the day. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sorry, I have so many notes here. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Oh, okay, we got Nathan and Cassidy. Yeah, let's just do Nathan and Cassidy.
I think Cassidy was up first.
Oh, okay, sure. Sorry, Cassidy, then Nathan. However you guys want to do it.
I had a question for the video with the picnic and the squirrel. So in one part of it, they're like pouring a fizzy drink into the glass, and I was just wondering if that was actually the sound that it was making, or if like you got, because it sounded really good, like it felt really up close. So I just wanted to know if that was actually the sound it made, or if you got it from like a different website or something.
Yeah, so that's for Christina. Christina had the picnic video.
Yeah, I actually got it from the Free Sounds website. I used a sound effect. I think that's what the website was. But yeah, I tried my best to find something that would match, you know, the champagne or the lemonade. So yeah.
Christina, while you're here, could you talk a little bit about, I think we're all amazed that you were able to get the squirrel to kind of, I mean, I know you were applying the squirrel with food, but to get the squirrel that close and on camera, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like filming the squirrel up close and personal like that?
Yeah, honestly, it was just so random. Like, I was just like, yes, give me the Oscar, the squirrel. Like, oh my God, I was just like so amazed that, because like I've never actually been up close to a squirrel like that, and it kind of freaked me out. Like, that was me in the video, and it was like coming up to me, and I was just like in the background, my friend was just like, don't move, and like screaming at me, don't move. And yeah, it was like totally unplanned for, just like a random squirrel that just wanted our food. Did not get paid, but it gave me a great video. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great shot. It was a great moment. And, you know, it's one of those things where within the, you know, the theme of the picnic, it makes sense, even though, like you said, it's totally unplanned for it and kind of improvised. It really, you know, it doesn't feel out of place at all. It really kind of just adds to what you're already making in the video. I think Nathan had a question too.
Yeah, so mine was for, sorry, I don't know the name, but the boxing video, where you wake up and you do the jump rope and then you're hitting the punching bag and stuff like that. A particular part really stood out to me on there where you're filming, we're getting visuals of the boxing posters, but you put the sound of when you're hitting the punching bag over it, which I think we learned is like a J shot or an L shot or something like that, right? Where that's just like, that was really cool. It gave me like that inspirational vibe that you would get out of maybe a sports movie or someone who's really dedicated to what they're doing, where you're seeing these old legends of the past, like just kind of, you know, how'd you come up with that? How'd you go about that? And I just really liked that part.
Yeah, so that was Andrew's video, right, Andrew?
Yeah, that was my video. Basically, I don't know. I really like watching boxing. Some of my favorite boxers are Muhammad Ali and Pacquiao. So I basically, when I do work out, it sounds corny, but I do like to look at those photos and kind of get hyped up and kind of get me ready for a workout. So I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of show that in the video and kind of add more context to like why I'm boxing, you know?
Yeah, it was a clever arrangement. I really like.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I had that same shot in my notes as well, Andrew. Like the still photos with the sound, I agree, is a really, you know, we could almost imagine like an entire boxing gym video where you know, you never see the boxers, but you hear the sounds and just sort of examine all the ephemera around the room or something like that, you know, really setting the scene. You know, I think that's something that any of us, but especially you know, it might be ripe for exploring future projects because those brief moments were really affecting, for sure. And I love the sort of shooting through the half-open garage door, you know, the jump rope sequences and things like that too. You know, it felt like your compositions were really strong throughout the video.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Well, we might be winding down. I've got a few more questions, so if anyone else has questions, let's try to ask a few more real quick. Real quick, Daja, I would love for you to talk a little bit more about your video. It's sort of, you know, I think maybe not unlike some of the other work we've seen from you this semester. There is a bit of a mysterious and suspenseful theme that emerges out of this video that starts off kind of as a very wholesome family gathering. And, you know, the video really is evocative and makes me feel a lot of things, but I'm not in a bad way, but I'm not totally sure who the person asking for help is and how worried we should be about them. So yeah, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit just about your video. It's very, I think it works here. It's really beautiful and really evocative. And I think you're able to, like I said, explore things you've been working with throughout the semester. So that's not a diss, but I'm really curious what sort of the storyline is in your mind here.
So just like project 3, the proposal and the actual project did not match, but I wanted to so in the whole video overall, I was trying to portray like chaos and like the feelings of like just like of overwhelmment and just having so much on your plate. So like, which is sort of how I feel right now because of school and everything. But yeah, so it was that actual footage was, I think, yeah, it was from 5 to 6, and I had like a family gathering that just came out of nowhere. My cousins just came over. I had a photo shoot that day for my little cousins. And then I still had like a whole bunch of homework. But that person talking, asking for help, I got that from freesound.org. But I used it as like, even though there's like so much going on and I'm like spending time with my family, in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, oh crap, I have so much stuff to do. Someone help me kind of thing. So yeah. And you can take it like the meaning of that video, that could go like way deeper if you wanted to, depending on how you're feeling or just your situation. But yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I think, like I said, I feel like it's really in line with some of your other projects. So it's really great to see the continuation of the thread. Yeah, well, before we wrap up, are there any other questions or any other videos we want to address? Comments in general on the project as a whole? Anything else anyone wants to share regarding this final project?
I just like how it kind of like I think after we saw the video last week of, oh man, I forgot it, but it was where the director, he was taking a picture of himself every hour of every day. And then like I kind of like after seeing that and like realizing, oh, like that's something that he really had to commit to and all that sort of stuff. But it's kind of interesting seeing like a person's life in that sort of way through film. And so I thought it was interesting seeing that in this as well.
For sure, yeah. And I think, yeah, all the projects today feel really personal and maybe, even though some of them are kind of fantasy or made up, there is a sense of autobiography and kind of authenticity or realness to most of them. Yeah, which I agree. I think maybe is similar to what you're saying. It's really, really interesting to see how everyone's personality comes through within this like time linked assignment. And then to see all of our personalities crammed together into one big video is also like a really fun ride as the viewer, right? You sort of get to see the world through everyone else's eyes.
Yeah, I noticed too that a lot of people either had close-ups or they had like things up close to the frame as well in the foreground. So like hearing you say that too, like how like all of them felt like really personal, I think that could have also been in how people also shot it as well. But yeah, it was really cool.
Definitely, yeah. Well, maybe this is a good point to wrap up the Q&A, unless anyone else has any questions or comments. Okay, well, congratulations, everyone, and thanks again. Stick around. I'm going to stop the recording, but stick around. We have a few more minutes left of class. But again, I want to like, what emojis can I do? I want to clap for you all. I want to shoot confetti everywhere. I want to laugh so hard I'm crying. Give you a heart, etc., etc. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, for all your hard work here today, and congratulations. And yeah, I think it's really, I think sometimes we imagine these kinds of collaborations with making video. Sometimes we think of video art as this very personal practice. But something collaborating can even look like this, right? Sort of making a video on your own and sticking it next to someone else's and seeing how they play off of one another. So, I hope this kind of very simple project is inspirational to you all to continue working with one another in the future. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.